Amidst the celebrations at Dodger Stadium, the team has already started tinkering with the pitching staff. The Lakers shed tears. The Cam Reddish era has come to an end, and the Sparks will retire the number of a WNBA legend. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is March 28, 2025. By the time you see this clip, it's going to be wheels up. I'm flying home to see the wife and the blouse of the blessed abundance. I can't wait. But while I do wait, what do you say we talk a little LA sports? And if you like being in the know about LA, click the like button. Click the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, a quick look at the scoreboard. Dodgers 5, Detroit 4. The magic number for LA is 160. Chicago edged the Lakers with a buzzer-beating half-court shot, 119 to 117. And Colorado shut out the Kings 4-0. Not a good look. Meanwhile, today, Detroit's at the Dodgers again at 7, and the Clippers are at Brooklyn at 4:30. What do you say we get to the news? And yes, 'twas a fun afternoon, had by all at Chavez Ravine yesterday. 3 home runs, Shohei Ohtani hit his second, Blake Snell in his Dodger debut, 2 runs in 5 innings. Even Tiger fans had at least a chance to get a little happiness in. They had a chance to appreciate one of their former players, Kirk Gibson, legend for both teams, I might add, threw out the first pitch. Ice Cube drove in a lowrider onto the field with the trophy. And I got to admit, I kind of wish Detroit had a little bit more, because if you think about it, unlike New York, Detroit could have at least brought out Eminem along with Ice Cube. That would have been a way stronger rap battle than Fat Joe's belly flop in the World Series. But I digress. Either way, hours before the first pitch, the Dodgers already looked at their pitching staff and they were like, nah, this'll never do. And by this, you will be taking notice all season long. The Dodgers make player transactions every single day during the season. It's very unusual, and it's also almost always pitchers. It's like, I'm not saying they're breaking the rules, but in a sense they are gaming the system, because they'll just keep sending pitchers back and forth between Oklahoma City and LA. Sometimes it's due to legit injury. More often, it could be, I don't know, somebody with too many pimples on his ass. How do we know? So anyway, the Dodgers picked up Noah Davis from Boston for cash. They did so because Emmett Sheehan is obviously not ready to return from Tommy John surgery. Sheehan's been placed on the 60-day injury list. But to be frank, he's out until midseason at least. Don't look at this as 2 months. His rehab won't even begin until May, most likely. Davis, meanwhile, heads off to Oklahoma City, which we normally feel bad about. But on the plus side for Davis, Oklahoma City is just slightly less racist than Boston. So on some level, he did upgrade his life. And kudos to that. Kudos. Do you remember Cam Reddish playing for the Lakers? I don't. I know he was signed. I know he was supposed to be a somewhat versatile addition. I don't even remember ever seeing him on the court. Now, there is a reason he's not on the court now. He was waived. And he was waived for Jordan Goodwin, who I've honestly never heard of. Jordan Goodwin now gets an NBA contract instead of one of those two-way contracts between the NBA and the G League. As a result, he's playoff eligible. To know about Reddish is to, how do I put his career? To know about Cam Reddish is to follow the well-trodden path of legions of busted-up lottery picks. To know about Goodwin's career is to be a G League sicko. I never knew this dude existed. Dude wasn't even drafted. He's been part of 3 other organizations. Does this mean he's going to make a difference in a playoff game? I have my doubts. But you could have said the same thing about Reddish. And by the way, the big reason that Reddish got clipped, aside from the fact that we all forgot he was on the team, you cut Reddish, and in response, you get some cap space. Not a lot, but a minimal amount. And that could enable the Lakers not only to give Goodwin a boost to the NBA, but you could also upgrade another G League player. And that matters. It could be Trey Jameson, Christian Koloko, both of whom are able to play center. Also with the Lakers, Steve A. Myth. Tired of treating that guy with any level of respect. Steve A. Myth continued his war of pointless idle chatter against LeBron James. And honestly, after today, I'm going to stop talking about it. People have been talking about it for weeks. Ain't nothing coming of it. Myth claimed that he would have immediately taken a swing at Lakers forward LeBron James had James touched him. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't have, because Mickey and the boys over at Disney would not let you. You're not risking $20 million a year in a fist fight that you are guaranteed to lose. Stop with the empty threats. Nobody believes it, tough guy. Much of America didn't even realize the WNBA existed until Caitlin Clark came around, and I think we all have to realize that. But for many years, the Sparks were actually the premier franchise of the league. 3 titles. Then this show came out. I'm not saying it's cause and effect, but when this show came out, the Sparks pretty much swirled right into the sewers, never to be seen again, no matter how hard you use the plunger. But credit where it's due. The Sparks will retire the number of arguably the league's single greatest player in Candace Parker. She'll be the 3rd Sparks player with a retired number. She'll be up there alongside Lisa Leslie and Penny Toller. Parker spent 13 years in LA. She won a title. She was the league's MVP twice. And to be frank, it's absolutely fair to say that when she left the team, and I believe it was because she got in a little fracas with Derek Fisher, who used to be the coach, when she left the team, it never recovered. And I would argue it's actually because of her greatness. You know, I'm not going to say, just because the Sparks and Angel City stink, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying women can't be dominant athletes. Candace Parker was so single-minded in purpose, so driven, that the remaining players on the roster, once she left, were just simply set adrift. Sparks haven't had an identity since. Former USC defensive lineman Solomon Tuliaupupu has chosen to go to Montana in the transfer portal. You might recall the dude spent 7 years in Heritage Hall. 7 years crashing Kager after Kager, living his best life, and pretty much not making any difference on the field, despite the fact the Trojans were begging anybody to play D-line. So now, dude goes to Montana, where nobody has any fingers to count. So we can presume he's going to be able to extend his career another 7 years by chasing barely legal sorority chicks. So kudos to him. Angel City signed a midfielder, Mayara Nehus. I know I mispronounced the name. My bad. She comes from a Portuguese team, Sporting CP. We're supposed to assume she's amazeballs because she's from Brazil, and that may be the case. She does fill a need for the team in the sense that she's described as a box-to-box midfielder, which means she is effective at getting back on defense and creating an attack. Maybe she might be somebody who's a difference maker. because Lord knows that franchise needs to validate all of its hype. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me about opening day at Dodger Stadium, or for that matter, the Lakers' current swoon. And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We talk LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Cam Queso production. Take care.